Give me just a moment to finish opening up my windows now that I've rebooted. All right. I think I'm live, ready to get started. So let's see where we were from last week. So I recall that I had just run into a bug or a failing test, and I hadn't had time to debug it yet. And I haven't really thought about it since then. So I think debugging that will be the next step. I have made some changes to the repo since then, so I'm going to do a rebase. That's where I'll be starting today. Make sure master's up to date. Okay, now it is. So I rebase my working copy on top of master, and I have some conflicts. Yeah, this should be fairly straightforward to fix. The only thing I could change here is this line, I think. So copy that here and try and change. Didn't seem to make it happy. There we go. What's the temp files there? Okay, I'm not sure what changed here. I think I just want the incoming version though. It's a stale file that doesn't matter. So this is an API change I made. I'm just going to update this quickly rather than going into the details about explaining. It's easier to do this. That's all I need. All right, so let me look at, now that I've finished rebasing there effectively, let me look at the failure and try to remember what that was. That doesn't look familiar, but okay. Okay, I have an idea what's going on here. Actually, I'm a little bit confused here. I should have done this rebasing before the call, but oh well. I feel like these conflicts aren't what I expected at all, honestly. What if I'm rebasing the wrong thing? Oops. Okay, I see one place here. I should fix this. I should fix this in this particular commit. I'm not sure what this is complaining about. This is what's throwing me off. Stop complaining about that stupid thing. I am back. It's okay that you're distracted because I'm just kind of mumbling to myself here. Trying to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to be doing now. So the confusing part here. So the conflicts are happening because I changed the way options work, and now this is complaining, and I don't know why. Why does it think I want to pass a map? Because that's not the type. I feel like GeoPLS or something is out of sync, which does happen sometimes. Maybe this. There's the problem. That should fix it. Field status is unused. Okay, yeah, but I'll fix that later. Okay, that makes sense now. I understand what's going on. Which commit did I make that change? I think it was here. No. Oh, I know how to find out. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sometimes having multiple directories is more confusing than helpful because I have the same file name in multiple directories and I never know which one I'm supposed to be opening. I think this is the commit I'm looking for. Nope, that is not the commit I'm looking for. There we go. All right. This might be familiar now. No pointer tree reference? Is that what happened last week? I don't remember, but we're going to fix it anyway. Oh, actually, I know what's causing this, and it's not from last week. Line 419. Yeah, never mind. This is not from last week, but it's an easy fix. Merge that into the same commit. There, okay. All right, I think we're caught up to last week now. Now we have this failure that probably seems more familiar. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's complaining that it can't find the rev. That does sound familiar now. All right, so whoops. So somewhere here, I don't remember where it was. I guess I put some debug output around everywhere. So this is the error that we're getting. And I don't recall why. I do remember that I solved a couple of bugs. In fact, I probably should merge those as separate pull requests since they're kind of standalone thing. Let me do that. I solved this. Yeah, this particular commit I think should be its own. It should be merged independently. Yeah, so the two bugs were that composite values before the rev key were parsed token by token rather than discarding the entire value, which would mean potentially that a token called underscore rev within that one of those objects would throw it off. And it also didn't read to the whole end of the document. So this solves both of those. Let's get this merged. So while these tests are running, I'll continue debugging. All right, so let's look at that output again. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know what this buffer missing thing means. That looks like the wrong input, but maybe that makes sense for some reason. I'm calling this method, or this function. Make sure I'm looking at that, okay. Open res with multiple revs. It's this particular test case. What I'm confused about is this buffer missing. Does that string show up anywhere? No. Well, if I could spell it correctly. Okay, so it shows up there. Okay, this actually does make sense. So what this means is the request is asking for these revisions, and one of them is missing. 6, I guess. I don't actually see that in the list. I wonder if that's just because it was a poorly constructed fake response. But I should be able to handle this. I just need to make my code smarter. But basically, what happens is the client is requesting a list of revisions for the same document. I guess let me look at the doc where I copied it from to see if it tells us what it was requesting, because that would be a useful clue here. So we have, yeah, I don't think these, maybe that's it right there. Maybe it does match. Yeah, okay. So you can see here in the request string, it's asking for revisions 1-917 blah, 3-6 BC, and that's the one that's missing. So basically, this is a not found error, is essentially what this is. But I'm trying to extract a revision from it. The truth is, the revision is there, it's just with a different name. I have to figure out how I want to handle this now, but at least I understand what's happening. So when this happens, it's the entire. This will be the entire document. There'll be no other keys. So that's a strong clue. So just thinking out loud here, some of the options I have. I could modify this function here to look for the key missing and not just rev. The problem is that I could have both. You know, an actual document could easily have a key called missing. Here's the clue. The fact that it's an error. That's the clue. So I need to look at the content type. Okay, that's my clue. Let me remember where this has been called from. I called from one place, okay. That in turn is where being called from somewhere up here. Yeah, so process doc. So content. So I need to look at that content type. There would be a parameter of some sort, which I'm probably ignoring right now. Params. Okay. No, that's not the right params. That's the params for the document itself. I need the params for the part, right? So multi-part related. Is that the one I want, or is it multi-part? No, it's not here. All right, so this multi-docs thing, this is where I need to, yes, right here. These params are the ones I care about. If error, I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it CT error for now. I'm not exactly sure what I should do with this yet. I guess I need the. Oh, I do know what I need to do. I need to set this error thingy to something. So this error field. Then row dot error equals. This isn't ideal yet, but it should be something. Let's see what it does. Like I'm not setting enough metadata on that error yet, but it should do something different. No. And where is that happening? Let's see if this is even being called. It is being called. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do a return. That would be the problem, I'll bet. Have something, what, I don't know if return right. Return nil. Okay. Made it past that, but now we have a different bug. Different crash. 682 of this file. Index out of range. Oh, okay, I think I know why that's happening. It's because I only have 2 things here, and there should be more than that. There's a better way to do that. Oh. There is a better way to do that, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Maybe I will worry about that right now. I think there's got to be a better way to do this. I don't like having to set exactly the right number of things in my test so it doesn't crash. It seems kind of annoying and like tight coupling. So let's see if I can come up with a better solution. I think what I'll do in this loop is just collect the rows. So dot colon equals. No, it's not ideal. Maybe I could. Maybe I can do that. Yeah, let me do that, or at least to start with. Okay, this tests are going to fail, but let's see what happens. Yeah, a bunch of differences. But that looks a lot easier to handle there. So basically I've just changed my test to do much less intrusive, is that the right word? A lot less thorough testing. Let's make this map of or a slice of interface. Actually, no, I'll just make it an interface. Could be anything. because it's going to be marshaled to JSON. Get rid of this dot thing. And let's change this to, actually no, before I do that, I'm going to rename that. I like want a little bit better, it's a little bit shorter. So basically I just need to create a map here, or a slice of maps that will marshal to the same JSON object that's returned by the query. At least that's what I intend. Non-field dog. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's delete that from the other example. So the first test should be more or less correct. The second one is still funky. So let me change that. Okay. Copy that and tweak it. And then this last one is apparently the error example, which for reasons not yet understood is returning blanks. All right. If my tests are working, so first thing I'm going to do is change this error. Well, that might be okay. Well, no, it's not okay, because I don't even know what all that is. That's just yeah, that's nothing. But it's the word true. So this error string is the word true. That's silly. Let me add that to my test in. I want to test the error case as well, which I'm not doing now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from being a pointer driver. I'm going to do got equals a map of struct, or a slice of struct, and I'll just put the things I care about. Let's put ID, rev. I don't care about this key, but I do care about error. Let's just do that. Those are probably the only ones I care about, at least for now. I can add other ones later. And then I'm going to change this to got equals append got. I guess I should name this type. Result. Now I can do ID is row.id, rev is row.rev, and error is so I want to do a string, but only if the error is not nil, right? It doesn't have an error. I thought it did. Oh, it's spelled out. That's my problem. All right, let's see how this goes. And now I can just do diff. I don't need this to be JSON anymore. Although in that case, I want to move this type definition to the top of the function. And then I can make want to be a slice of that. So now I need to decide what I want this error to actually look like. Let's see how the test goes now. Too many arguments. Oh, the wrong thing. All right. All right. So now I'm getting the error I expect, even though it's not the correct one. What I want it to be, I want it to say missing. And I want the rev to be populated. And I want the ID to be populated. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but I don't need to know that while I'm defining my test, right? Now the missing rev is which one? This one, 3 dash blah blah blah. All right, so now I have a test that's failing, but failing in the right way. So I should set row.id in this case. Why is it not? Oh, it's going to be .id, I guess. Let's see if that solves half of that. Yeah, so now the ID is being set correctly. And now I need to handle the error. The thing I don't know is if there are other types of errors. As far as I know, that's the only one that can happen there. I also don't know if you would ever have more than one error in a single response part. You know, if it might list 3 different revs that are missing in the same one, or if you get one part for each one. It might explain some of that here. Let me look for the word missing. Okay, here we go. OpenRows query parameter contains a JSON array with list of leaf revisions that are needed to be fetched. If the specified revisions exist, then the document must be returned for this revision. Otherwise, source must return an object with a single field missing, with the missing revision as the value. In case the document contains attachments, source must return information only for the ones that. Okay, so that's the only possible return value. That makes it simple. So I can handle that right here. I guess I'll just do it in line. wonder if I could do that in this process doc thing somehow. Or if it should probably just be a special case, because it only ever happens. No, it should be special case, because it only ever happens in this particular case. But I do want to do just that, yeah, just the JSON marshalling bit. Yeah, I think that should handle it. Let's. But we need to put a proper error in here. This should say missing. Actually, I'm going to use custom error type. All right, what's wrong here? Just error. I actually don't care about that. Let's see how the test goes now. Yay, it's passing. Delete that commented out test bit. Basically, all that extra logic I just deleted, it may not actually ever be necessary. I don't know. But I'm certainly not using it in this test, and I am using it in the other test I copied from, so I'm happy to let that other test do those nitty-gritties, and I just don't need to duplicate that here. I have to decide if this status is something I care about. No, I don't think I care about it here. The status, basically an error can contain an HTTP status code, but I don't think it matters. I'm already testing that elsewhere. Here, what I'm worried about is the iterator, whether that's working. What I'm not sure about is if this error is actually ever being tested against. Yeah, it is. Although I don't think it needs to be, because I only want non-error cases on this example, in these tests. So let's just get rid of that. Simplify things. Let's still have a bunch of debug output somewhere. Yeah, I might have cleaned it up. Looks good. So I think that whip commit can just be renamed and call it good. But let me look at the output, or look at the diff here. So this is what I'm most interested in. So with this extract rev, to happen earlier. I think we're good to go. So here's a little special case where we set the relevant fields on the doc when it's an error case. Otherwise, we fall through and do the full processing where we unmarshal the JSON or the multi-part related. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I think I'm going to go and merge the pull request I just created. The test coverage is not happy, but I don't care. I need to honestly remove those checks because I don't care about that. But yes, I do use the race test. I think I always use the race test. If I don't, I certainly intend to. Well, I always do, I should say, in CI. When I'm running locally, I often don't think about it. Yeah, I run the race detector there. Something I need to add is the shuffle flag, which I only recently became aware of, but I haven't started adding it everywhere. I should do that. Which distro for my Linux machine? I use Debian. All right, let's push this up. I'm pretty sure I need to force push it. All right. Now, there's a good chance that there are some things I should be fixing that I haven't thought of. As always happens, right? That's how bugs get introduced in the first place. Debian is the Linux distro I use. Okay, so I have two new test cases here. One where I return a single document, and one where I return 3 revisions, one of them which is missing. I suppose I could add a case where I return 0 documents, the not found case. Let me do that. I'm going to copy this one, I'll bring it down at the bottom, and I'll modify it accordingly. So in this case, it should be status not found. I should verify that that's possible. I'm sure it is. I'll just read the docs. The docs will tell me if that's possible. Yeah, I'm sure it would have to be. Yeah, it will definitely return. If the document's not found, it will return status not found. And no, I want to make it. I want to make it. Do something here. Oh, sorry. I had somebody on LinkedIn asking which distro I use. I should probably figure out how to put that chat on the video frame so that everybody can see it, so that's a little bit less confusing. All right. So I want to start my Docker container again, which I think I did last week also. Let's just do this one. Let me export the username and password. This is where test containers would be really handy, but I can't get test containers to work on this project with the old versions of Go I need to support. So whenever Gopher.js supports generics, then I can start dropping old versions of Go, and then I can use test containers properly, and I won't have to do this manual starting of Docker images. All right, so now we have a Docker container running with CouchDB in it. Let's create a document there. Create a database called foo. I'll create a document called bar. Just an empty document. Now I can get that document and we'll see what it contains, which will be not much of interest. Not found. That's not what I expected. Am I doing wrong? I may have suddenly forgotten how to use curl. Oh, I forgot to put the host, the port number. Duh. It should be port 6007. It's trying to connect to my probably Nginx or Apache, whatever is installed by default. And it doesn't like that for what actually makes sense reasons. There we go. That's more like it. Now let's just get that document and see what it looks like, as I was trying before. There, that's more like what I expected. Now let's put that OpenRevs in there. And if we do OpenRevs to blah, 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 then we should get that. Oh, it didn't like that at all. Well, because it needs to be some sort of JSON. That's annoying. Copy that. Actually, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't care about that. What I care about is what happens if I fetch a document that doesn't exist. What kind of response do I get? Oh, and I need to put the header first. Accept multi-part mixed. All right, so that's what I expect when the document is there. I want to see what it looks like when it's not there. So let's rename this from bar to asdif. And we actually get not found expected, but we actually get JSON. So that's what I wanted to know, is if I got a JSON response or if I got some other type of response. It's still a JSON response, but that's fine. That just means I know how to replicate this here. This will be application JSON, and the response is going to be this string. And what I want is an error. Is that why it's not happy? Because it's not there. So that whole thing I just deleted a minute ago about error checking, now I'm putting it back. This should be a screen. I got different error than expected, but that's okay. I just didn't remember what it's called, like what this text was. I thought it would be just this string, but it's the word's not found. It doesn't make any difference. What's failing here? $56. That's strange. Oh, the return is in the wrong place. It's not strange at all. It really is actually strange, isn't it? You just don't know why it's not strange. Yeah, so I was only returning and short circuiting if the error didn't match expectation. What I need to do is return and short circuit if I didn't expect an error. All right, now it's working. I expected that to work perfectly. I just wanted to be certain because I shouldn't. This shouldn't. The case where not found happens shouldn't be new. None of the logic I changed should have affected that, but I just wanted to be certain that I was handling it correctly. Let's see how we're doing here. Pull request, see if the pipeline is failing. It's passing. The only thing that's failing is the test coverage percentage. That's good. So I think I'm just about ready to merge this. And then I get to go back and clean up. You know, if you may recall from a couple weeks ago, I created two interfaces, the old getter and the new getter. I need to go back and clean up that old getter, which is fun. Deleting code is always fun, right? I think I can mark this as ready for review. Not that it matters. I'm the only one who reviews this stuff. We'll let this run. While this is running, I guess I can take a moment to do the normal sort of stuff that YouTubers do and tell you if you're interested, you can subscribe to my daily mailing list where I write about Go every day, 5 days a week. Lately, I've been writing about the Go spec. So every day I take a small chunk of the Go spec and try to break it down into simple to understand terms. Sometimes that means I spend a few hours trying to understand it myself. Usually not, but recently that happened. I think that'll be tomorrow's email or the next day. So you can head to boldlygo.tech/daily, and there you can sign up and subscribe to that if you're interested. And of course, I try to do regular content on the YouTube channel here as well. I have a new video coming out in a few days once my editor gets back to me, and I have several in different stages of progress. It's been a little bit slow with the summer and holidays and traveling and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of that pretty soon. Just need to wait a moment here. Sorry for the delay. This is the sad part about live streaming is you get to wait instead of editing past some of the boring bits. While we're waiting here, why don't I try running my Tesla Shuffle and see if anything breaks? Shuffle needs to be on, off, or int64. Let's just do on. Let me add the -v flag to see if anything's actually happening here. So far so good, I guess. Huh, that's cool. I'll add that. Do that in a separate PR just so I don't have to wait to rebuild my thing again. All right, let that run. See how this is going. Yeah, it's almost done. Some of the tests are completed now. Getting really close to releasing a stable version of this package. In fact, this feature we're working on today is kind of the last holdout. I went through last week and did a big doc update, fixing typos and clarifying things where I could. And in the process of doing that, I found a bunch of API things I could tweak or delete. So I've been pushing a bunch of smaller pull requests, where I had a couple data types that weren't necessary to be exported. I unexported those or even deleted them. Simplified the way authentication happens, so it's a simpler API. So it's things like this, a bunch of breaking changes that I want to get in before I do a big stable release. My last stable release, the big one when I released version 3, was probably 3 years ago. I don't actually remember. I guess I could go check that out. I'm just out of curiosity. The big change there were some API changes, but the big thing was I started using Go modules. So it's been quite a while because Go modules have now been out for ages. Let's see if I can find a history here. Version 324, 303. Where's 300? That's what I'm looking for. 302, 301, 300. February 2020. So yeah, it's been almost 3.5, about 3.5 years since my last major release. So it's due for that. And the truth is, the big changes, this one I'm working on now is the big one I've had in mind almost that entire time. And it's taken me this long to get around to actually fixing it. Don't need all these notifications. That's our test suite. Are we done yet? Everything passed. I'm gonna merge this thing. Oh, the code coverage thing is still running, but I don't care. All right. We have merged it. So now it's time to do some cleanups. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it this way, but I'm going to start by just deleting the old interface and seeing what breaks. The old getter. So I'm using an approach that I don't know if it's inspired by, at least, a book called The Mikado Method, which I really like the way they do it. Basically, it's a way to think about breaking your work down. You have a goal in mind, and my goal here is to delete this interface. So you try the first thing that comes to mind to achieve that goal and to see what breaks. So that's what I'm doing. And then you see what those things are, and you work backwards from there. So there are two places where old getter is not defined. So this one's easy because this is just a mock code generator. Difficult one. Well, let me just delete both of those. That's easy to do. Not sure what that's complaining about. Don't understand that at all. I have a feeling it's just out of sync with the current code. and then we delete this one. So now the thing is, it's not going to cause any sort of compile failures, but it's going to fail if I run the tests. Because some of the drivers, here's a great example, the mock driver doesn't satisfy the either interface. Actually, it does. It satisfies the old interface, except that I no longer check for that, so I should delete this. Oh, it's more accurate. The truth is I'll be deleting this whole switch statement anyway. But that basically, if I'm doing the Mikado method, my goal is delete the old driver interface. I have a blocker now. To do that, I need to change the mock driver to use the new one. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to undo my work like this, and then I will make the mock driver use the new interface, and then I'll try again. The truth is, I know I have to do the same thing for the PouchDB driver. I'll do that in a moment. Let me clean up some of this nonsense here. Okay, so basically, what this mock driver is it's modeled after the GoDog SQL or Datadog SQL mock driver, and it's one I maintain here for testing. It's largely code generated, so we'll see a little bit of that here. And indeed, that's where this reference to old getter is found. I want to change this to, is it row getter or rows getter? Rows getter. What this particular code does is I define all the interfaces I want my mocked interface to implement, and then it does some parsing on it. So let's see what happens here. If I'm lucky, that's all I have to do. I'm guessing I won't be that lucky. All right, so the get, I might be that lucky. So that method is actually completely code generated. And it just changes the return type. That might be all I have to do. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, that's all I have to do, I think. So the mock driver has this will return method, and then I can pass in rows to it. It does make using the mock driver a little bit more cumbersome for the common case of a single document. I could special case that, I guess. I probably won't right now. If I ever find it to be burdensome or somebody complains, maybe I'll add a special case. But essentially, you would have to instantiate a mock result set with a single document in it, which is a little bit annoying, but I'll wait until it's a problem before I solve it. All right, so something isn't happening here. Let's see what's going on. Oh, so my tests for my mock are broken. Yeah, so this needs to be returning new rows. think that's it. So that's not actually as cumbersome as I thought it would be. It's a little tiny bit longer, but not a terrible deal. And then this. All right, and this one. So this stringer outputs a string representation of the expectation, and I need to think of what that should look like. Let's see what expected query does. Oh, it does a. Let me just copy this line here, both of you. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, I think that'll solve it. So it wasn't quite as simple as I initially thought of just rerunning the code generation. I had to do some manual touch-ups as well, but that's okay. Now do I have an infinite loop somewhere, probably? It's usually what causes a hang like this. It's not even giving me any output. That's kind of annoying. While I'm waiting for that, let's see if our shuffle is done. No, it's still running. One is a missed button. Give it a few minutes. All right, what's wrong here? All right, so that's running. It's probably here that something's going wrong. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Yeah, this is easy to solve. Well, let me see if it solves it, and then if it does, I'll explain why. Maybe not. I'm trying to figure out where the hangup is even happening. Okay. You can start query should it has a problem, but it so something is not unlocking that properly. Let's do it this way. See if I get a stack trace that's going to use. $16.21. All right, so it's just panic. How is it getting there? I didn't think. It's so confusing to me. The way stack traces are handled in tests, or the way they're presented in tests, is really confusing because the testing package does a whole bunch of sort of evil nonsense with go routines and channels and internally panicking and all this sorts of stuff in ways that you shouldn't ever care about, but it messes up your stack trace. Okay, 241. That's part of close, so that's blocking. Let me look at the different test cases here. It's possible that just one of these is broken. So the thing is, now that I'm returning a potentially a multiple result set, it needs to be closed after usage, and it's apparently not being closed somewhere, and that's what's causing the deadlock. However, it should be automatically closed in many common cases. I'm thinking this is a case where it's not closed here, possibly. But I'm not even calling that particular case. In this failure. Tighten up my regular expression a bit here. All right, I'm going to merge that shuffle thing while I'm doing that. All right, so we're only running a single test, and it's timing out. So it's not deadlocking with other test cases, because there are no other test cases running. So what's going on? I shouldn't need to explicitly close the result set in this case, but maybe I'll try it. Oh, wrong function. Maybe I'll try it just to be safe. I don't understand why that changed. No, it's failing with something unexpected rev. That doesn't make sense. That's so strange. Yeah, it shouldn't be necessary. It's calling. Well, actually, I'm going to look at the docs. Maybe my own docs are. Maybe I'm confused by my own implementation here. I want to find the documentation for the result set. Okay, here we go. Calling result set scan doc, scan key, scan value, or ID, or key before calling result set. Next will operate on the first item in the result set. Then close the iterator immediately. Okay, so I'm not calling one of those, but maybe I should make. So I'm calling rev. Maybe I should make rev do the same thing. Well, until then, I'm gonna update my test to do the right thing. So basically, I need to close the rows explicitly is what needs to happen. That solved it. Let me make sure none of the other cases need to be closed like that as well. So this one needs to be closed because I'm not calling one of those particular methods. I'm only calling error. Here I'm also only calling error, so it should be the same. Here I'm also only calling error. A lot of these I'm just checking for different error types, aren't I? All right, that should take care of that. Fine, I have a typo somewhere. All right, what did I do wrong? So I have a couple of failures, but they seem to be unrelated. So let's see what this one is. Just get wrong options. Okay, what's failing here? Call to DB was not expected. Next expectation did I copy the wrong thing? I did indeed. All right, that one's solved. And then where I changed the stringer, I need to update the test for the right thing. So that's in value.go. That can't be right. I don't understand why this says value.go here. I don't understand that at all. This is the right test. Here we go. So I just need to update this to say it should return 1 result. Unexpected rev. I remember seeing that and I forgot to fix it. It's over here. I think it's this one. And the reason for that is because I haven't called next yet. That makes sense. I think that should solve it. Nope. It's probably an easier way to do this test, actually. Rather than setting rev, I could set something else, like the document. Maybe the key would be a better way to go. Let me think. The reason I might want something else is because I would like one of those magical methods that closes the thing for me. I don't remember which ones those were. Scan doc, scan key, scan value, result set ID, or key. I really should just make rev do the same thing. I think that's the better solution here, honestly. And probably error as well. I'll do result set rev to start with. No, I'll do both. I'll do both. So if I were doing the Mikado method strictly here, I would undo. In fact, maybe I will. Let me see what's going on here in my working copy. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to stash everything. Let me undo this, which is kind of what you've seen me been doing the last few weeks. So I do that small change and I go back and do the other ones. All right. Result set dot rev. Result set dot error. Or the others. All right, so here's the magic that does that. It's make ready thing. Ensures the iterator to read from. Yeah. So I need to call this make ready thing. Go away for now. So the two I care about are rev. Let me see how AD does it, because that's another one that supposedly does. Yeah, it does that already there. Okay. So I need to add, basically just add this. I think I just add this to rev and error. What I'm trying to figure out is where that other implementation is, the error implementation. Ah. Wrong directory. I have a question here from LinkedIn asking anything you can read for the background of what's going on. Let me just briefly catch you up to speed. There's nothing to read, I don't think. I've added a new feature to my database driver. Now I need to clean up the old one, and it's proving to be a little bit tricky for complicated reasons that are not quite to explain. But that's kind of what we're doing. So I'm trying to, right now. I'm trying to update some methods on an iterator to automatically close the iterator when necessary. And I'm trying to find the implementation that does that, and I'm having difficulties. Find all implementations. Let's do that. Is this it? Yeah, this is possibly it here. Let's see if that breaks anything. Everything's broken. Oh, undefined R, of course. That would break it. Where is the undefined R? All right, so now we're having a nil pointer dereference. Iterator.go line 153. That's curious. So I think, you know what? I'm going to undo this. I think changing the error breaks a lot of my tests, because in a lot of my tests I check the error first and then I iterate. And I still think it might make sense from a usability standpoint to make that change, but it's a bigger change than I was thinking. So I'm only going to change the rev to start with. So I'm going to undo everything on my working copy and then start again to make just a smaller change. And assuming that this works as well as I hope it will, then I'll come back and do the change to the error method later. Do I have an infinite loop again? No. Oh, those are just some of the live tests that I didn't actually want to run right now anyway. So that was it. Maybe I shouldn't do this as a separate commit. Maybe I should do this as part of my branch since that's where it was breaking. My other branch. There's probably other methods that I should do the same thing for as well. But let me go back to my other my other branch and cherry pick that and see if that solves any of my problems. What was that? Old getter cleanup. I don't even know if this code works right now. It might have been a broken. So I guess working. Well, I think that solved it. Now let me review this whip again. I don't remember what I was doing there. So here I'm explicitly closing when I call error. Same. 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 Now here's the rev one. This is the one I shouldn't have to explicitly close for. So let's see if I can make this work as I expect it to. What line was it on? 1623. Or thereabouts. So basically, I shouldn't have to call next or close now. Let's see if it locks. It's working. Awesome. Whoops. So I'm going to do a quick detour. Actually, my time is almost up. I'll probably stick around for a few minutes longer. I don't have anything else going on. If people need to drop off, you're of course welcome to. But I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer and do a little bit of cleanup. So what I'm gonna do next is look at other methods on that iterator that I might want to do the same trick for. I think the easiest way to do that is with the Go doc here. Make sure this is. Is my pull request still open? No, it's not. Let me create a new pull request here. Oh, never know. So we can look here at the documentation, types, and results set is the one I want. Zoom in a bit. So there's various methods here. Here's the ones I just, this is the doc I was just modifying. I just added rev to this list. I think attachments should be on that list. I think error should also, but that's going to break a lot of my tests. Key is already there. Metadata cannot be there. It only makes sense after next. So that's, yeah, that would not make sense there. So I won't do that one. Next result set doesn't make sense there. Rev I just added. Scan doc, scan key, scan value. I'm pretty sure are already there. I think that's it. So I think that just means error and attachments should probably be added to that list as well. Attachments will be easy. I just saw how that one was done. It was just right above or below the one I just did for rev. So let me do that. Yeah, right here. So I can basically just copy this up here, and it should be perfect for attachments. Good. There is an argument to be made that this is a bad idea, what I'm doing now. I'm trying to imagine how this would be used. So the case would be, oh, I think it would be okay. But I guess I should write a test for the case I'm imagining, is what I should do, and see if the test passes. If it doesn't, then probably make it pass. So let me think about that here. It's part of DB test. So what I'm thinking is I want to be able to get a document and then call, say, attachments on it and rev and so on, some of these different methods. So I want the iterator to be closed, but I don't want it to be made invalid. I want them to, the caller still to be able to call those various methods without them being invalidated. So that's what I want to test. So let me just create a new test for that. Func test get multiple methods. And then probably just kind of duplicate one of these. Where does the DB get created? We just need a mock database object, or it's not really a mock, a stub database object. Let me just copy something like this. I want that one. Is there just a simple success case I can copy? Or success, this one. There's an option. I don't need to pass any options here. So now I want to be able to call it's called rev. It's a fairly simple test. No, it's testing. I don't actually want to do that test. I don't care about what values pass there. And I don't care about what options are passed. I just want to return something. That's all I care about with this test. Unexpected. What? Oh. So I know exactly what happened. Set it to this. That should be okay. So it's working there. So I think it's safe to go ahead and close the iterator for each of those methods. Let me look closely because these two methods are very simple. Yeah, that's simple. That's fine. It doesn't do any checking to see if it's locked. Or not locked, but closed. Why am I not finding it now? Yeah, so the current value is still set. That's good. And same for attachments. Wait, what? I was returning nil here. That's probably not ideal. I know why it was returning nil. So that's something I need to add a test for, which I won't do today. Let me add a to-do note though. Here. So I need to add a stub or a note for a test. So I just discovered basically that this iterator is always returning nil for attachments. Where was that? Right here. Which means that I will be removing that functionality. Or I literally did just remove that when I did my merge. For multiple result sets, which are now all result sets on get. So I need to fix that. And I think it will be easy based on the stuff I discovered last week. But that will be a next thing. I may save this for next week, or I might work on it on my free time before then. I'm not sure. I think I'll go ahead and wrap up for today, though. Thanks for watching. And if you're still here, thanks for sticking around late. I'll be back next week with either more of this or more of something new. I'm not sure yet, but I'll be back next week writing more live Go code. So I hope you'll join me then. Again, thanks. Talk to you later.